Previously on Mushroom Journeys.
All right, let's get some sausage and cheese. Where's that thing? Let's head out into the woods and look for some mushrooms.
Wild mushrooms and plants can be harmful or fatal if swallowed.
It's mid-May, we got plenty of rain. Should be able to find some good mushrooms. With any luck, we'll find some oyster mushrooms, or maybe we could even find a very early chicken of the woods, but we're definitely gonna find something. So yeah, let's head down the trail, see what's out there. So here's a mushroom, a technically edible mushroom, a Pluteus genus mushroom, and more specifically, a type of deer mushroom. So deer mushrooms or deer shield mushrooms or fawn mushrooms are often the Pluteus resinous, but this one being in the Midwest is probably Pluteus hongoi. In the West, it could likely be Pluteus exilis. Pluteus resinous is a European species, but it is also found in the United States, so it is impossible to tell them apart without a microscope. So hard knowing exactly which species you've got. There's a lot of Pluteus mushrooms out there you could find. There's maybe 500 species of Pluteus mushrooms on the planet, maybe 50 in North America. Those numbers have just about doubled in the last 12 years thanks to DNA sequencing. All different types, all different colors, but the Pluteus will always have a smooth, straight stem without a ring or annulus. There'll be no cup or vulva at the base. There'll be no scales on the top. They will have pinkish gills in maturity as they have pinkish spores, and the gills will be free from the stem, meaning they are not attached to the stem. There's a little gap in between the gills and where the stem starts. You could find yellow Pluteus mushrooms like the yellow deer shield. You could find white ones like the scaly shield. That one grows on just decomposing organic matter. It can be found in more suburban areas. Most of the Pluteus will be kind of mid to late stage decomposers of old dead wood. And there are some small Pluteus mushrooms that resemble the deer shield mushroom, but they will stain blue, and those are highly toxic.
Don't mess around with a little brown mushroom.
I like a good interpretive nature trail. Always something to learn. Limestone. That's why the yellow morels do so well here. They prefer a slightly alkaline soil. Cool. Let's see, which way do we go? Which way do we go? Let's go this way. I see a mushroom over here. What could this be? So here we got some old white oak wood. You can see how it hardly rots. This is probably 20, 30 years old. But over here on this maple, we got some good oyster mushrooms. Yeah, not so good. They've been chewed up. And these might be the pale oysters, the summer oyster mushrooms. More white in color and smaller and less stout. Almost a good find. Let's go look for something else. Oh look, there's a butterfly. So here is our eastern tiger swallowtail butterfly. You can find tiger swallowtails all over North America. There's a Canadian tiger swallowtail, a western tiger swallowtail, and a Mexican tiger swallowtail. The males will always have this yellow and black stripe pattern. The females can have the yellow and black stripe pattern, as well as having a dark morph or dark pattern meant to mimic the toxic pipevine swallowtail, much as the spicebush swallowtail does. And just like the spicebush swallowtail, the tiger swallowtail has a caterpillar that is a snake mimic. It has fake snake face to deter predators. So yeah, this is a very sneaky and deceptive butterfly. And if you look hard and you get really lucky, you might be able to find a female that is half yellow morph and half dark morph. Oh, I think I see some mushrooms down there at the base of that old dead white oak tree. Let's go check those out. Shoot, a little too late. Let's check out the size of these oyster mushrooms. These look more like the pearl oysters, thicker and stouter and bigger. And oh man, these are a little too far gone. Should have been here a few days ago. Look at all those fungus beetles, springtails and bugs inside there. The oyster mushrooms are an example of an early stage decomposer. They'll usually move into recently deceased wood. Often when a tree falls, they'll move in 1 to 2 years after it has fallen, and they'll stay around for 2 to 4 years after that. And over here, wow, look at this deer mushroom. That's a big one. This is an example of a mid to late stage decomposer. The deer mushrooms will often decompose much older wood, and there could be even buried wood in the soil. So you can find them just growing up out of the ground. This one seems to be decomposing this tree, so it is kind of unique. 2 different stages of decomposers on one tree base. You can tell as I flop this around that it has free gills. The gills are not attached to the stem, and this is a well-mature specimen with those rosy pink gills, as the spores will be pinkish in color. What does the deer mushroom smell like? Has a radishy sweet smell. Definitely no shortage of deer mushrooms here in May. All right, let's move on. I do not recommend the deer mushroom for anyone. It is kind of slimy and watery and gross, turns to mush in the pan. Doesn't have good flavor. In particular, it has a bad aftertaste. So yeah, I say don't eat it. Could you batter fry it and dip it in ranch sauce? Might it be tolerable then? Yeah, it'd probably be okay, but you'd probably still get a hint of that gross aftertaste. It tastes like a moldy basement full of rusty metal. But the real reason I can't recommend the deer mushroom to anyone is because it is difficult to identify, and there are some dangerous lookalikes. Part of the problem is that when the deer mushroom is immature, it will have white gills. Some of the most dangerous mushrooms out there have white spores and white gills, and that's when you would really prefer to collect it, when it's more dense and compact in the cap. Some dangerous lookalikes could be Amanita mushrooms, like Amanita brunescens, or possibly the panther cap out west, or the white panther in the east, or grisette type Amanitas, Amanita vaginata. Amanita mushrooms typically have a cup or vulva at the base, a ring on the stem. Sometimes they have scales on the cap, but the scales aren't attached. They can wash off in a heavy rainstorm, and slugs can often eat the annulus off. It seems to be a part of the mushroom they like. In maturity, the deer mushroom will have pink gills, and there are some dangerous mushrooms out there with pink gills as well. The Entomoma genus mushrooms, like the lead poisoner or livid pink gill, would be one. There's also Pluteus type mushrooms, like the rose gills, stubble rose gill, that could be confused for the deer mushroom. And there are also straw type mushrooms, or genus Vulvarelli mushrooms, that you could confuse with the deer mushroom. So I definitely don't recommend it, especially not for beginners. I say you skip this one. There's plenty of other great mushrooms out there for you to find and eat, but the deer mushroom just isn't one of them. Oh, I see some big old mushrooms down there, real big ones. What do we have here? What we have are some very, very, very large butterful Megacollybia mushrooms. A little bit on the older side. That's a big mushroom. There are 4 of them on this dead stump. Oh! And they are in there tight. Oh yeah, look at the size of that mushroom. So this looks a lot like a deer mushroom. The top of the cap is almost identical, although these will curl up in maturity. So the way you can tell this is not a deer mushroom is that the gills are not pinkish. This Megacollybia rodmanii will have a white spore print, and you can also differentiate them by the gill attachment. You can see that these gills are attached to the stem or adnate, but the deer mushroom will have those free gills. I mean, look at the size of the stem on that one. That's like almost 2 inches thick. What does it smell like? This one smells really good. It has that radishy, sweet smell. It's a great smell. I love the smell. Don't love the taste. But yeah, that's a really cool mushroom. The Megacollybia rodmanii. It's getting windy. It's gonna rain soon. Looks like we got another sign. Oh wow, got some super bright orange fungi over here. This old oak log. Whoa, look at that. It looks like we have some red raspberry slime mold, not a fungus, but super cool. Wow, that's awesome. All right, back to the trail. Huh, what's this? Some kind of research station? Another lockbox. It's no longer locked. Quite curious. There's a nice artist conch. This big one. Resinous Polypore, stake of the woods from the fall. No longer edible. And what do we have here? Let's see. Oh, come on, dude. Come on. Oh. Another Pluteus. This is the yellow deer mushroom. This can be kind of a cute little mushroom, especially when the cap curls up in maturity. You get that kind of two-tone grapefruit-like color scheme. This is not an edible mushroom. It does resemble a couple of poisonous mushrooms like the sulfur tuft. Sulfur tuft also yellow, but will have more of a greenish gill surface, especially in maturity. And you could also confuse this for the deadly Gallerina or the funeral bells, but those are more orangish brown and they will usually have a ring line on the stem. Don't eat this one. Let's continue. All right, well, it's starting to rain here a little bit, so time to head home. I'm Michael File. I'll see you next time on Mushroom Journeys.